There's a video going around right now. A child being swept down a flooded street in Guangzhou, China. And 5 food delivery riders jump in. No hesitation. Just 5 guys who happen to be there, pulling a kid out of a fast-moving current in the middle of a major city. That happened today, May 15th, 2026, because over 100 millimeters of rain fell on downtown Guangzhou in just 2 hours. Streets turned into rivers. Underpasses submerged. Rail lines shut down. Red warnings, the highest level, were issued across multiple districts simultaneously. This is still developing. Here's what we know so far. So let's go through what actually happened, step by step. This all escalated fast. The heavy rain had already been building for 2 days prior. Parts of Guangdong province recorded over 250 millimeters on May 13th and 14th. So the ground was already saturated going into today. Then, around 1 p.m. local time, the sky basically opened up. By 1:54 in the afternoon, Yueqiu and Tianhe districts, 2 of Guangzhou's most densely populated urban cores, had already logged more than 100 millimeters of rainfall in a 2-hour window. That's not light rain. That's not a heavy shower. That's a deluge in a flat built-up megacity with nowhere for the water to go. Red rainstorm warnings went out across Guangzhou's Yueqiu, Tianhe, and Panyu districts, and also hit Zhuhai City and parts of Nansha district near the Pearl River. Red is the ceiling. It doesn't get higher than that. The scenes coming out of there are something else. SUVs buried to their hoods, shared bicycles and e-scooters tumbling in the current, people wading chest deep just to get to the sidewalk, stairs cascading like waterfalls. And then that rescue video. A child caught in a strong street current, being pulled along fast, and 5 delivery riders, who were probably just trying to get through their shifts, dropped everything. They formed a chain, jumped in, and pulled the kid out. Social media in China lit up. People were calling them everyday heroes. And honestly, that's exactly what they were. On the official side, Guangdong's provincial flood control headquarters had already activated a level 4 flood prevention emergency response the day before, on May 14th, at 2 p.m. Schools across all red warning zones were ordered shut. From 8 p.m. tonight onward, China Railway suspended select services on the Guangzhou-Zhanjiang high-speed railway and the Jiangmen-Zhanjiang line. More delays are expected through the weekend. Now, as of the latest reports this evening, there are no confirmed casualty figures released for today's event specifically. Emergency response is still active. Rescue operations are ongoing in submerged underpasses and low-lying residential areas. Authorities are urging residents to stay indoors, avoid travel, and stay away from flood-prone areas entirely. The rain is not stopping. Forecasts show heavy to extreme rain continuing through May 18th, with thunderstorms and wind gusts reaching force 8 to 10. That's the part that has emergency managers worried right now. What really caught my attention when I dug into the science behind this isn't just bad weather. This is a known recurring seasonal pattern that's getting worse. In southern China, there's a phenomenon called dragon boat water, Guangzhou shui in Mandarin. Every year, around late May and early June, as the summer monsoon kicks in, persistent southerly winds drag enormous amounts of moisture in from the South China Sea. The result is multi-day, relentless, intense rainfall across Guangdong, Guangxi, and Fujian provinces. It's tied to the Dragon Boat Festival season, hence the name. It is completely predictable in the sense that it will happen. The question is always how bad, and the drainage infrastructure in these cities simply wasn't built for what we're seeing now. A lot of Guangzhou's stormwater systems date back decades. When you drop 100 plus millimeters in 2 hours onto flat, low-elevation Pearl River Delta terrain that's covered in concrete and high-rises, there is nowhere for that water to go except the streets. China has been rolling out what they call sponge city initiatives, essentially redesigning urban surfaces to absorb more water. But those projects take years and haven't kept pace with the intensity of these events. Here's what nobody's really talking about yet. The 2026 Guangdong flood season was already forecast to be above average before any of this happened. If the next 3 days of rain are as bad as projected, we could be looking at this escalating from urban flash flooding into actual river flooding and potential landslides in inland areas. So where things stand right now, floodwaters are still high across central Guangzhou. Emergency response is active, rail is suspended, and heavy rain is forecast through Sunday at minimum. Watch for official damage assessments over the next 24 to 48 hours, and keep an eye on whether the Level 4 emergency response gets upgraded if conditions worsen on May 16th or 17th. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe. I covered developing disasters and extreme weather events as they unfold, with full sourcing and no hype.